Hi friends, welcome to 365 IT Pros. We are a group of engineers, developers, and architects working on Microsoft 365, Microsoft Azure, and AI-based technologies, creating demos and evaluating emerging Microsoft technologies. In today's session, we are going to see how we can create a generative AI power virtual bot using OneDrive or SharePoint as a data source. Generative answers in Power Virtual Agents allows your bot to find and present information from multiple sources without actual creation of topics. And these generative answers can be used as a primary information source in your chatbot or as a fallback when your authored topics are not able to address the user queries. So instead of going to the live agent first, this generative AI will try to address your user queries. Bot uses natural language processing to parse the user query, determine what's the intent, then find, collate, and parse the relevant information from the specified source. In this case, it is SharePoint and OneDrive. And then summarize the search results into a plain language that is delivered to the bot users. Now what happens when user sends input to the bot first looks for a topics to which the match the intent of the user prompt. If matching intent is not found in the topics, bot uses the generative AI answers to attempt answering the user's query. And this is called generative answers for fallback. So now let's see how we can create a bot using SharePoint or OneDrive as a data source. We can use generative answers with a content stored in SharePoint sites, which can be a data stored in your SharePoint page or a content in the documents. The documents as of now supported are Word, PowerPoint, PDF files, and Excel files. The same applies to OneDrive for Business. When bot user asks questions or make a statement where bot does not have a manually configured topic to use, it searches for the relevant content from the site URL. Here it is a SharePoint site. You can use any public site also, but we are going to use a SharePoint site. So bot finds the relevant content from the site URL and then use the generative answer technology to summarize the content. I am here in my environment make.powerapps.com. So first you will go to make.powerapps.com, click on Power Platform, click on Power Virtual Agent. Once you are in the Power Virtual Agent, I've already created the environment here. You can go to Chatbot, click on a new bot, give a name to a bot, PVA AI bot. For this particular demo, I'll keep the language as English. I can enter the URL of a public website here if I want to use public website as my source for a generative response, or else I'll click on create. It is setting up my bot. While it is setting up my bot, I would like to mention one thing here is, right now the content analysis and retrieval happens on behalf of the sign-in user. So user who has access to a particular file will get only response from that file. If users do not have access to a particular file, he or she will not get response from that particular file. So because of this, it requires authentication to be configured for a bot using Azure AD ID under manual authentication option. I will go ahead and show it how it can be done. The no authentication or only for Teams authentication option currently can't retrieve the information from SharePoint or OneDrive for Business. Now my bot is ready. By default, it comes with some minimum topics. You can create a new topics, okay, in case if you want to add a new topics. You can use Copilot to create new topics. So you can give name of a topic. Let's say if you're creating a bot for a travel help desk, you can write your prompt here and then you can name, and then Copilot will generate topics for you. I will create a separate video on this. Now going back to this is my basic bot which can answer to my query. If I say hi, it answers the query based on these topics. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new topic from blank. Okay. I want this bot to respond for any user query using generative AI. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the trigger. Whenever there is a message, I'll ask bot to response from my SharePoint site. So I'll change it to message received. Now this is important. When I say click add node, I have a different options to add a different topics. I'll select generative answers. When you select the generative answers, first you have to provide the input. For input, I will select activity.text. Basically, whatever text which is user entered by user, I'll use this as a input. For data source, when I click on edit data source, you can say data source, and here I will add my SharePoint site. So either you can add a public website or you can add a SharePoint site, and bot will use that as a source. I have my public website. We'll add this public website. We'll say plus. I'll click, I'll add, and that's it. This bot is connected to a SharePoint website. I've already done this for my bot, so I'll show that. I will not save this. I've done this for my another bot. So I'll go to topics. Here is my generative AI topic, and I've done the same configuration. But as I said, you need to have a manual authentication with Azure AD app in order to authenticate and run the bot in logged in user context. So you can go to settings, security, authentication, and select manual authentication. You can select require user sign in or not based on your choice. This is the URL we will use when we create a new app in Microsoft Azure. Select Azure Active Directory v2 as a service provider. Then we'll go to Azure environment. I'm already in my Azure environment, portal.azure.com. We'll go to home. When you log in portal.azure.com, you go to Microsoft Enter ID. Select app registration, and then you can add a new app here. You can click on new registration. You provide the name of your app. Select accounts in this organization directory only. I would suggest to have your bot tenant, that is Microsoft 365 tenant, and Azure tenant in the single tenant. You can select the web as a platform, and this is the place where you will copy this URL and add it as a direct. So we'll create a PVA bot app, and then you will register this app. Once you register this app, you are going to create the new client secret and client ID. So you can click on new client secret client ID. You can add description, secret for PVA bot, and you can adjust the expiration. You'll click on add. It will generate this value and secret. I've already done this for my app, so I will not do it again. I will delete this. Then you will go to API permission and you are going to add 3 more permission for your bot. Number 1, you go to Microsoft Graph. We are going to use delegate permission because we want this app to act as a sign-in user to access the SharePoint sites, documents, libraries, etc. It impersonates the existing user. You're going to select sites. You're going to select sites dot read all. You're going to add a few more permission here. You're going to add files so that it can read files in document library, files dot read all. And then we're also going to add permissions for OpenID. You can read here, it allows users to sign in to the app with their work or school accounts and allows the app to see the basic user profile information. So we're going to do. Once you are done adding this app, you're going to grant the admin consent. So you're going to say yes. Okay. I've already created app for my bot. So I'll show you the app which I've created. This is the app for PVA. I'll just refresh my screen to show both apps. Okay, I'll go all applications. And this is the app for PVA which I created earlier. Okay, here is my redirect URL which I added. It's the same URL. We'll go back. You can select these 2 options. Select tokens you would like to use, access token and ID tokens. When you add this redirect URL, here is the API permission which I have added. It's the same file.read, site read all, user read and OpenID. Once you're done with this, you're going to copy the client credentials. You're going to copy this value. Don't use the secret ID. You have to use secret value. You will copy this value. You will add this into the client secret. So I'm going to copy this. I've copied this value and I've added into my client secret. I'll show the bot which I already created for you guys. If I go to bots, this is the bot which I already created. If I go to topics, GenAI, we'll go to security, authentication, and here is the client secret. Client ID, you can get it from here, application client ID for the application which you have created. And that's it. Once you plug in this information, leave this as is, and you save, your bot is ready. You can chat with your bot. Hi, hello. What I've done is, you can go to bot channels and you can enable channel for your bot. I've enabled the Microsoft Teams channels for my bot. So I've added this bot in my Teams. I'll go to my Teams window and I'll show you. So this is the bot I've added in my Teams. Okay, I'll probably go ahead and remove this. Okay, you can go to apps. You can get to build for your org. Once you add into the Teams, your apps will appear here, and then you can add from here. Since I've already added, it is giving me open. So I will open. Now, my SharePoint site has document library, which has all these different documents. So I'll open this so that you understand what bot, from where bot is answering. I have one invoice. I'll open that invoice as well. So this is the Word document which talks about data protection policy. So I'm going to tell me more about data protection policy. In case if you're not signed in, the bot will automatically sign in for you. And now since it does not find this information, anything with respect to data policy in bot topic, there is no topic which talks about data policy for this bot. So it will directly go to this tab and trigger is any message received. It is generating response. So now it talks about the data protection policy document outlines how organization handles the protects personal data, and then it gives the citation from which particular document in SharePoint it is getting this response. So you can see it is getting response from data protection policy template.docs, which is the document I have opened here. So here you can see it has generated response. It is designed to ensure compliance. So it has generated summary of this document. I can talk about data minimization. So if I ask, tell me about data minimization, let's see if it can answer me this one particular. Data minimization refers to practice and ensuring personal data is limited to what is necessary. Will to what necessary in relation to purpose for which they are processed. So it has summarized. It involves collecting, processing, storing only minimum amount of personal data. So if you click on this, you can directly go to document from here. It opens a document in browser. Let's see. Now I have this invoice. Okay. Now I want to ask, what is the total invoice amount for test business? This is my PDF. So I'm going to ask my bot, what is total invoice amount for total business? Looks like there is something wrong. Total invoice amount for test business. Let me reframe. Yeah, and then you can stop worrying about this. This is because of the default behavior of bot. I'll have to just modify the default topic because bot feels there is no topic available, so it tries to add this, but then yeah, we can totally ignore this. See, it returns the total invoice amount for bot is 93.50, and it gives the link to this particular invoice. Similarly, I can connect this bot to OneDrive by providing the URL of a OneDrive in my topic over here, or I can connect to any public site by providing the URL of a public website. And within a less than 30 minutes, you will have a bot working with a generative response on your SharePoint, on your OneDrive, on your public website, and you can connect this to other sources like Bing search, or you can upload the documents to Dataverse, and you can create a bot on top of documents which are uploaded to Dataverse. That's it for today. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.